Liam looked like the kind of person who had it together because he was smart, hardworking, polite, and dependable. But only Liam knew what it cost to look fine, because inside his head, his mind was a crowded room where every voice sounded reasonable. Every warning felt urgent, and the harder he tried to force silence, the louder the noise became. Every night before sleep, one familiar sentence returned like a curse. What if tomorrow I ruin everything? And the scary part was that Liam wasn't lazy or careless at all. He was simply trapped in a habit that many people call being responsible, but is often just another name for slowly exhausting yourself with constant mental noise. That week, Liam was preparing an important presentation, not a dramatic, movie-style moment that decides your entire future, just a meeting where his manager would decide whether he deserved a bigger project. And Liam, as usual, didn't want to be merely good enough, he wanted to be perfect. He adjusted sentences on his slides like he was editing a letter to his future self. He changed a perfectly clear chart because he feared someone might misunderstand it. He reread emails he had already sent just to make sure he hadn't used the wrong word. And when everything finally looked finished, his mind pulled him right back to the starting line with a simple thought: still not good enough. The night before the meeting, Liam lay staring at the ceiling, exhausted but unable to power down because every time he closed his eyes, the worry film started playing. What if you forget your words? What if they realize you're not as competent as they think? What if this is the day everything falls apart? He grabbed his phone, searched for motivation, watched advice videos about discipline, tried to pour more strength into his brain. But the more he tried to fix his mind, the louder it became, like he was throwing fuel onto a fire he was desperate to control. The next morning, Liam walked into the office building with a tight chest and heavy shoulders, stepped into the elevator with an older man he had never seen before, and for some reason that man's calm presence felt almost out of place in a world that always seemed to be rushing somewhere. The elevator moved upward slowly. Liam watched the floor numbers change, and in that rare silence, the older man looked at him and said something so simple it sounded impossible. "You are not breathing." Liam blinked, forced a small laugh as if it were a joke, but when he tried to inhale, he realized his chest really had been locked, as if his body was preparing for danger, even though the only thing waiting for him was a meeting. The man didn't smile. He just continued in the same gentle tone. "You're alive, but your mind is somewhere else. And you're holding your breath like something bad is about to happen." Before Liam could respond, the elevator suddenly slowed and stopped between floors, not with a dramatic alarm, just a quiet pause that should have been harmless. But Liam's mind exploded instantly. What if we're stuck? What if I'm late? What if this is a sign that today will go wrong? His heart thumped harder, his hands cooled, and he reached for the emergency button. But the older man calmly lifted his hand as if to pause Liam's panic and said, "Good, now you can practice." Liam stared at him, confused because in Liam's world, this wasn't a moment to practice anything. This was a moment to worry harder, think faster, and try to control what couldn't be controlled. The older man looked at Liam like he had met this kind of fear 100 times, then spoke slowly. "Your mind is like a radio stuck on bad news. And you think the way to make it quiet is to argue with it, to prove it wrong, to find more motivation, to squeeze harder. But you can't win against a radio by shouting at it. You only reduce the noise by changing what you do when it starts." Liam swallowed because something about that felt true in a way that wasn't inspirational, just painfully accurate, like someone had finally touched the real problem. The man raised 3 fingers and said, 3 steps, 15 seconds. And you don't need your mind to be quiet to do them. Step 1. Name the thought, not the story, just the label. Worry, fear, planning, judging. Step 2. Return to the body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel air move through your nose. Take 1 slow breath. Not a deep one, just a real one. Step 3. Give your mind a small job so it can't keep making movies. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear. Then he paused and said, "Do it now." Liam tried, and at first it felt uncomfortable because his mind immediately protested. "This won't help. You're wasting time. You need to prepare." But Liam noticed something more important. When he named the thought instead of chasing it, it was like standing on the side of the road watching cars pass instead of sitting inside the car being dragged away. When he focused on his feet and his breath, his body softened a little. And when he counted what he could see and hear, the noise in his head didn't vanish, but it moved farther away, like a room where people were still talking, yet no longer shouting directly into his ear. The elevator started moving again, the doors opened, and the older man stepped out first. Just before he turned down the hallway, he looked back and offered one final sentence. Not as a lecture, not as a clever quote, but as if he were handing Liam a small key. Your mind will never be silent forever, but you can stop letting it drive. When the noise starts, don't argue, don't hunt for motivation, just do the 15 seconds. Name it, return, assign. Then he walked away and disappeared into the building, leaving Liam standing there with the strange feeling that he had just been pulled out of a current that was dragging him under. In the meeting room, Liam was still nervous, but this time, when a frightening thought rose up, he didn't fight it and he didn't follow it. He simply whispered inside, "Worry," felt his feet on the ground, took one slow breath, noticed the pen on the table, the glass of water, the hum of the air conditioner, the light overhead, and he returned to the present. He spoke more clearly, not because he became fearless, but because he stopped being carried away. And when the meeting ended, Liam understood what he had misunderstood for years. Discipline isn't forcing yourself to be stronger inside noise. Real discipline is learning how to lower the noise so you can hear what matters. If your mind feels loud lately, try this once tonight, the moment you notice yourself spiraling. Name the thought. Take one slow breath and do the 5-4-3 reset, and if you want, comment. One word, reset, and that'll all write the next story about stopping overthinking when you re at your lowest.